Okay. Shall I go for it?
Yeah.
Ready, everyone? Okay. Just wait for those people to come through. Ladies and gentlemen, it's the 21st November. Welcome to the Bow Group event with the Managing Director of John Lewis PLC in association with Stockwell Green Community Services. Thank you and welcome for coming, and thank you for coming. I'd like to just say a few words about our sponsor, Toha Qureshi, MBE from Stockwell Green Community Services, and also Andy Street, Managing Director of John Lewis. I'm going to ask Toha to say a few words about his organisation first, and then I'm going to invite Andy to speak, and then we'll take a few questions. Stockwell Green are a voluntary organisation helping out deprived individuals in the south of London. One of their projects is the London College of Business Management and Information Technology, and their line is to alleviate poverty through education and putting youngsters on the straight and narrow, and that very much feeds into the theme of social responsibility and the big society, which is going to be a feature of this coalition government. Andy Street on my left, who's our keynote speaker. Very privileged and delighted to be able to welcome him to the Bow Group for the first time. Britain's favourite department store, and indeed mine. Favourite retailer.
Department store is an easy category.
He joined John Lewis in 1985 and has worked his way up since graduating from Oxford University, right the way top to the managing director position. And we are very delighted to have him with us today. So without further delay, I'd like to invite Toha Qureshi, MBE from Stockwell Green Community Services, to say a few words about his organisation. Toha.
Thank you very much. Do we need this or not?
Yes, you do.
We do. Yes, I think we do.
And in that.
Thank you very much. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. As Ainsley has introduced me as the Chief Executive of Stockwell Green Community Services, I'm also Chief Executive of London College of Business Management and Information Technology. Our operation is not only in South London, but in many cities in the UK, plus abroad. So I wouldn't be introducing the organization, as a matter of fact. I would be drawing some kind of comparative analysis between the cooperatives, the work what John Lewis and his organization is doing, and how this employees' ownership, the idea and the concept what we have brought in onto this stage, how the community organizations or the community in South London took the ownership of a particular problem, which everybody knows now and is facing globally. And that issue was issue of radicalization, extremism, and terrorism. Had we not taken the ownership, this is where I think it's the common ground where we are working today on. Had the community not taken the ownership of that issue back in 1999, well before 9/11 and 7/7, God knows where things would have been today. Hence, the issue of taking ownership in partnership with the statutory bodies, as well as the multi-faith organizations, our organizations took lead on that program, and that program the previous government has replicated all over the country, and now many other European countries have taken that model of containment and ownership and engagement into real practices. We are currently working with Holland, Germany, and France, including UK, London Probation, on this model, which has been adopted and designed by Stockwell Green Community Services. and that has been very successful. The CLG, previous Minister Secretary of State Hazel Blair, borrowed that model from us, and that has been very successfully adopted in many other countries, particularly in South Yorkshire. Our organization has introduced personally that model, and that is going on now, that the ownership has been taken by the local community. Having said that, we have mentioned the youth and the employability enhancement program. This is where Stockwell Green Community Services and London College of Business Management and IT took, again, ownership that how can we address this issue through employability enhancement training program. And again, this idea of employability has been taken up by not only the governmental institutions, but many other European countries where statutory as well as the community organizations are working very closely with us. This issue of ownership of rehabilitation, particularly for those who was kept in Guantanamo Bay and were released in Pakistan, we invited the Pakistani government through Home Office. They visited us, and now they have picked up on this idea, and they're trying. In the UK, we are well advanced in this model, but in Pakistan, it is still in very, very early stages. We visited Pakistan in May this year as well with some German colleagues as well as the British colleagues from the statutory bodies and universities, where we're working with 6 universities very closely. So I think this idea of employees' ownership, it's very important and fundamental to this big society agenda. This is, although for many people, big society agenda is very new, but this model has been, as a matter of fact, taken up in past, and we have been very, very successful. And I am here to listen to Andy today, not to make my a big speech, but by all means, we'll be very happy to take any question at the end. Thank you.
That's very charming of you, Dr. Qureshi. Can I just have the microphone before we do anything else? Otherwise, we won't get very far. Right.